Hi! This video, created mainly for the students of the CAP7005e workshop from Polytechnique Montréal, will show you how to adapt a search strategy from Compendex to Web of Science, and how to use that database to stay up to date on creating a citation alert. To do this demonstration, I will use the following exercise where there is a strategy developed for Compendex. The information need is an anti-drowsiness system for drivers. A couple of comments on the strategy. We remember that we truncated different words in order to find word endings that are slightly different, like plurals or like words in the same family. Note the exception here of car or cars. We chose not to truncate this because car with a truncation could retrieve things that had nothing to do with our subject. I also remind you that we were searching with the field within keyword. We will have to adapt this in our new strategy in Web of Science since the syntax is a little bit different. For more information on creating an optimized strategy, take a look at the other videos on the Polytechnique Montréal Library's YouTube channel. Our goal is to find the most cited document among the search results in Web of Science in order to create a citation alert. We will also limit by time period of 2010 to 2021. Let's go in Web of Science now. And here we are in Web of Science. Just as a reminder, you can go to Web of Science by searching through the database A to Z list that you'll be able to find on the library's website. It's important to make sure you are set to searching in the core collection. So similarly to Engineering Village, where you have Compendex and Inspec in the same interface, it's a similar thing with Web of Science. So we want to make sure we are in the core collection right here to do our search. Now let's go to the advanced search, and we will use the query preview in order to build our query. So I've already copied the query and I will paste it in the query preview box of the advanced search field. Now we will need to adapt the syntax of this search query as it was built for Compendex. So we will remove all the mentions here of search field, and now we can use the field tag button right here to make sure that we find the proper field in which to search. So we will use topic, which includes the title, the abstract, and the keywords. So now let's go ahead and adapt our strategy. So we are going to add TS in front of each of our concepts here. Very well, and now we will also limit by year. You can see here there's a button called Add Date Range. Unfortunately, this is not going to search in the date of the publication of the article, but rather in the date where the document was added to the database. So instead, we will use the field code PY year publish, which is right here. So we will add and PY equals, and we're going to add our date range right here. And this should search within the publication year for us. Another note, we also want to click here on the More Options button and toggle to turn on the exact search. We are doing this because we've already thought about our truncations and we don't want the database to try to guess what other keywords would be useful. We've already made our decisions ourselves and we'd like to make sure that they are respected. So now we're ready to click on search. So here is the search results page. We see that we've received 2,275 results. So we want to make sure that the results are organized by the citation's highest first option. So let's click on that and it will change here the order of the articles. Now the next thing that we need to do is, since Web of Science is a multidisciplinary database, we will need to make sure that the articles that are in our results are related to engineering and the topic of interest. So let's go down here to find the Web of Science categories, and we can click See All to validate the categories that most suit our need. So we can see here the first option is electrical engineering. That is probably a useful topic for us. Neuroscience as a category, it may be a little bit too far from what we're looking for. It may be more about the physiological or neurological aspects of why somebody might fall asleep at the wheel. So it might not be the best option for us. Computer science and artificial intelligence, on the other hand, it will be more about the system being created, so that's good for us. We're also going to choose here the computer science and information. And let's also add transportation science technology and transportation. Now, if this was our topic of research, we would want to go through the full list here and make sure that we have all the different categories that could represent our field of study. Now, we're not going to do this for this exercise. And it'll be much easier for you to determine these categories with the subject that you're most familiar with. Keep in mind that a lot of these articles have probably been tagged in a few different categories, so there might be one article that is tagged with engineering electrical and also neuroscience, for example. So you might not necessarily get rid of all the articles that are in the category neuroscience. So once we've made our decision on the categories, we're going to click on Refine here, and we see that we've halved our results. Now let's go see, for example, this is here the most cited article, but we can see here that we're talking about biological drive instead of proper driving. So let's go instead to the second most cited result here. It seems a little bit more similar to our topic. And here we have the full record for the article that has been the most cited and that talks about our topic. And let's click on Create Citation Alert in order to create that alert. You will be notified automatically every time the article is cited, and this will bring on more recent articles on hopefully a similar topic to the one that you've identified. For your own research, you want to find articles that are the most relevant to you and create citation alerts for those. So it's not necessarily good to have too many of these types of alerts because it will be tough to manage. So you want to pick the right documents, and it might not be the most highly cited. It might be just an article where you recognize the author or an article that is exactly on your topic. Google Scholar also allows the creation of citation alerts. Web of Science and Google Scholar each have their advantages and limit with regards to citations. These were presented in a previous reading of CAP7005e. For other students who are not taking this course, you can also consult the Cited Reference Search Guide on the library's website. Today, I demonstrated how to adapt a search strategy for Web of Science, which is quite easy if you start with an existing strategy. So we started by changing the syntax, adapting it to the Web of Science syntax. We also made sure to establish the categories that most likely resemble our field of research in order to make sure the most relevant articles were found. And we sorted by the amount of times that the article was cited. We then found an article that we wish to create an alert from, and we also created the alert. If you use another database, it will be up to you to explore exactly how it works and how to adapt the possible strategy. It's always possible to contact us to help you explore new databases. Tracking citations to interesting articles is one of the best ways to monitor your field of study and make sure you are keeping up to date with the scientific publications. If you have any questions about Web of Science or citation alerts, please feel free to contact your librarian instructor.